Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Welcome into another live stream. Had to run up here. I'm working on something. Saw the ICE shooting. Unfortunate. We'll see what Trump ends up doing with that. This is Tyler Robinson's lawyer. What's up, Chris? What's up, man? Drones over Denmark. No one's talking about it because it's not a fun thing to talk about. What's fun about that? What does that mean? Drones over Denmark? NATO involvement? NATO Russian warfare? It's not fun to talk about. Did you see all the pregnant women drinking Tylenol? Yeah, Tylenol is bad for you. Even Tylenol has admitted they say you shouldn't do that. So I think it's bad that they're doing that. But they just do anything that Trump. They just do the opposite of what Trump says pretty much no matter what. Alex, see Alex. Hype it up in the chat. Bro, this chat. Dude, I gotta start titling these live streams or some shit. Or maybe I like the low viewership. How ironic is it he shot 3 migrants? Yeah, that kid didn't know what he was doing. He was probably just spraying and praying. Or I don't know what he was using. No, he was using a sniper, actually. So how many shots do you even get off using a sniper? Did you see the reports of the higher grocery prices, or is it just some things higher, some things lower? Yeah, I mean, they're going to cherry pick certain things. This is what I would say about any higher prices. Powell just admitted in an interview that the corporations and the companies are absorbing the taxes, meaning they're not passing them on to consumers. If Powell is admitting that, I mean, that's pretty much all we need to say. They can nitpick here and there about certain prices going up and say it, but that's not how you judge an economy. That's not how you judge tariffs. You don't judge tariffs off of one item or one good from one sector. So they nitpick a certain item and say, well, this is up, so that means tariffs are bad. Well, no. No, that's not what it means at all. Just because 2 or 3 items are up doesn't mean the entire just doesn't mean grocery prices overall are fully up. I mean, Powell's admitted it. Apparently, he got 20 shots off. Dude, that's a lot for a sniper. I cut my hand. Or got a cut. Buckeyes on upset alert. I doubt it. I think that's overrated, honestly. There's too many people saying it, and also Washington hasn't faced anyone. Washington's getting all this hype. I don't see it, man. Ryan Day doesn't lose to teams like Washington. He might lose to Michigan, but he doesn't lose to a team like Washington. He's not going to lose to Washington. You're a firm subscriber of nothing ever happens philosophy, especially when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, like the big macro events, I would say. I mean, there's all this. Remember, there was all this worry in my chat one night when there were Russian drones in Polish airspace, and I just thought, like, it's very unlikely anything's gonna come of it, honestly, just because of the nature of it. You heard about the drone situation in Denmark? I don't know. What are they? Russian drones in Denmark? I mean, what? Russia does not want to go into a war with NATO, man. They just don't. And nobody wants that. That's the last thing we need. Whatever is with these drones is it needs to be figured out and dealt with. We're not gonna escalate into this. It wouldn't even be, it doesn't even make sense for Russia to escalate anything. They can't even take over half of Ukraine. Thoughts on Fuentes and PBD? I thought it was fine. It's entertaining to watch those type of live streams or those type of podcasts. But I don't know. It seemed like PBD was trying to father him and got a little strange. Posturing by Russia. I know it's like how can like what do people think is going to happen here if NATO gets involved? Do you really think that's going to end well for Russia? It wouldn't end well for anyone to be truthfully honest, but it's like there's no way they can there's no way Russia at this point in time can afford to pick a fight with NATO. It just can't happen. Russia didn't want to go into Ukraine. They were reluctant for years. No, I hear ya. And I think Russia just wants a pro-Russian government within Ukraine, and they'll be happy. I don't even think they want. They'll take like two oblasts if they can just get a pro-Russian government in Ukraine. They just don't want a Western government on their border, basically. Because imagine, I mean, think about how much land they have right now. They've got 20% of the country. That could be negotiated down to like 15%. Disgraced Jay Powell is so pathetic now trying to tank the market, saying it's overvalued, gets job data wrong, gets tariffs wrong, gets revenue wrong, gets inflation wrong in 2022. Well, it's very easy to say the market's overvalued when everything's at an all-time high. We really shouldn't be paying for your opinion if you're going to say things are overvalued when they're at all-time highs. But what you were watching Charlie Kirk debates today, and he was talking about the H-1B visas being bad for the country because it hurts college graduating students. Yeah, no, he was definitely against the H-1Bs 100%. He was pretty hardcore against the H-1Bs, if I remember correctly. Kimmel was shut off in your area. I don't know if he was shut off in my area. I don't really watch much TV. Probably not. I think he got shut off in like 20% of the he lost 20% of his viewers, so 20% of TV broadcasts of Americans. What conference would you want Notre Dame to join? I think Notre Dame would be a pretty natural fit in the Big Ten. For Notre Dame's sake, they would probably do them better to join the ACC. I mean, they already have like 5 games a year with the ACC, and it would be a lighter schedule for them. But I don't know if they were if Notre Dame joins the ACC, that's going to water down their prestige significantly. The ACC is not a good conference. Notre Dame is already in the ACC and college basketball. I think also hockey, or they're in the Big Ten in hockey. I used to follow the realignment stuff, so I have a little bit of a grasp on Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame would probably, in terms of competitiveness, in terms of them winning games, they probably want to join the ACC. But they're going to get way more money from the Big Ten. Thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel coming back on air last night? Why didn't Kimmel just apologize for his comments about Kirk, and why did he keep calling out Trump? Yeah, he like did the whole. Did you see him like try and cry and stuff? And I guess he kind of apologized, or at least he reflected on what he said. But I don't know. I was watching a Tim Pool video today, and Tim Pool said he didn't apologize, and he said that Trump was trying to weaponize it, and so he didn't apologize. But I predicted he wouldn't apologize. But then I saw a video of him like tearing up, so I thought, oh, he actually did apologize, but apparently he didn't. I mean, who knows? Michigan blocked Notre Dame joining the Big Ten once. Notre Dame should be in Big Ten or ACC. Yeah, I don't even know if they can block them anymore or anything like that, but I mean, at this point, there's so many fucking teams in the Big Ten. Who are you going to block? I mean, the conferences are out of control. I mean, it's just the nature of capitalism with the conferences and how crazy they are. It's just flat money, basically. So, which I mean, to a degree, honestly, this is the thing with conference realignment. It is fun to see Ohio State go to Washington. Like, let's just call it what it is. That's a fun game. Instead of Ohio State going to Iowa this week or Nebraska for like the sixth time in the last 12 years, they go to Washington. I mean, that's a fun game. So we can say conference realignment's a little bit annoying and it's clownish, but you get like Michigan, USC. I mean, these are like exotic matchups. So I have to say, I mean, Ohio State, Oregon, these are good matchups. Predictions on the Senate Finance Committee meeting October 1st on crypto, no capital gains tax question. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think they're going to do that. That would be a huge advantage to people, to investors into crypto. The boomers in the stock market would lose their minds if we got no capital gains tax. They should really do something like that, though, just in the nature of the way crypto, most of those trades are not going to be, they want us to trace all the trades. That's not how it works with crypto. You don't get to tax us on every trade. That's complete horseshit. That's what they need to really change. Whether or not when we take it out, when we actually cash out into fiat, they want to tax us at whatever the fucking capital gains, short term or long term. We should not be taxed on trades. That's bullshit. Because we're not actually leaving the space. We're investing into other things. So we have the ability to lose that money. Upgraded from iPhone 12, 64 gigabytes to 17 Pro Max, 512 gigabytes. Dude, isn't it crazy with the storage? How fast that's 64. I remember when 64 gigabytes was crazy big. But dude, gigabytes are it's literally 1 minute of a video is 1 gigabyte, around that. So if you video a lot of things and the iPhone has a good camera, you're gonna run out so quickly. 512 gigabytes. Yeah, they could do a terabyte easily. I wonder do they have a terabyte iPhone yet? Probably do. If they're at 512 gigabytes, you're on the 17 Pro Max. How's the 17? I mean, it's hard to really say the difference when you get the new iPhone. If I go from a 14 to a 17, am I going to notice much of a difference outside of the size of it? Did you see the indictment of Comey? Yeah, I heard about that. I think Trump really Trump's been pressuring that. He wants retribution. I mean, that's what it is. And we're going to have to sit here and go through this exhibition of liberals saying, oh, it's fascism. He's using his power to go after his political opponents. That's what this is going to become. Just like when they went after Trump and elevated, that's actually never happened what they did to Trump, elevating misdemeanors to felonies. They say, well, sometimes it's about 4 or 5 get elevated, but they never seen it happen where it's 34. They never seen 34 misdemeanors get elevated to felonies. That's never happened. Because I looked that up on ChatGPT. They said, yeah, sometimes it happens for like 4 or 5 get elevated from misdemeanors to felonies. 34 is outrageous. 34, they never seen something like that. And then if you actually look into the case on Trump, they charged Trump. So Trump makes like monthly payments for this hush money or whatever. And so they charged him on every payment. That's how he got 34 of them. It was every payment. So it's like you get paid the 17th of every month. So he was sending money the 17th of every month. That's supposedly a felony or a misdemeanor that was elevated to a felony. Then the next payment, which it's like an auto pay thing, that's a totally different felony. It's ridiculous how they got Trump. So I don't blame Trump for doing this, honestly, because we haven't seen lawfare weaponized like that. And then the thing with the liberals will do is they'll try and say, well, it's all local stuff. Biden's not involved, or the executive branch is not involved. That's local municipal courts. And now it's all come out and it's been exposed. And YouTube has admitted, they said, we have to let people back onto our platform because we coordinated with the Biden administration to ban people because of medical misinformation. And that's what YouTube just said yesterday. They said it's so bad. We banned so many people because they were talking about, a lot of this is like hate speech bullshit. I'm just happy my channel wasn't around during the BLM stuff. Let's just say that. Or the COVID stuff. Thoughts on Theo Von video? Theo Von's a clown. I lose 10 IQ points anytime I listen to a Theo Von political opinion. That was hilarious what Theo Von said. Theo Von said, he's like, my opinion on immigration is nuanced. Really? Your opinion is nuanced? Remember what he said about Palestine? He's like, well, somebody told me that people were dying and so it's bad. It's like, yeah, you have a real nuanced opinion on immigration. Go ahead and tell us why. Oh, it's so bad what ICE is doing. They're deporting these people. They're so evil. Yeah, Theo Vaughn is a clown. This is all of these comedians are clowns. Just I'm tired of the comedians in politics. Theo Vaughn was literally like, somebody told me they were killing people in Palestine, so I don't like Israel. It's like, dude, oh my god. Even Conan. Yeah, did you see what Conan said? He gave support for Kimmel with a statement. Conan's a clown too. Conan's a liberal, but he tries to hide it. He tries hiding it, but he put out a statement. He's like, "Well, this is a terrible use. So this is an assault against free speech." These people are all cheering on cancellations. Like people, there were people on the right that got canceled for a $25 donation to All Lives Matter campaigns, and like we're really supposed to fucking do this with these liberals now crying about cancellation culture. Are you kidding me? You saw the Disney and Colbert video? It's hilarious. No, I didn't see it. Gutfeld and Ted Cruz, all rhinos with this Kimmel fiasco. Yeah, I saw a lot of that. Did you see what Kimmel said? Kimmel thanked Ted Cruz, Clay Travis, and a few like maybe Tucker Carlson. I don't know who else it was, but a lot of the Republicans, some of these Republicans took the position of, well, this is very very bad. They're going to weaponize and do this stuff against Republicans. The issue is they already have. They've done 10 times worse. They would cancel people for donating $25 to an All Lives Matter GoFundMe. So we're going to sit here and be like, well, we can't take Kimmel off the air for 5 days because they're going to do it against us. They're going to cancel us for donating $3 to like a freaking cause. I mean, this is a joke. So just understand that. But it's like, I get it. It is bad. It's a bad president, 100%. But I don't even know what happened. They say the FCC bullied Sinclair to shut it off or something. Who knows? This is my opinion. I don't think Trump should be focused on these late night show people. They're not relevant. I don't know where, I don't think anyone really advises Trump. Trump really can't have any advisors when you think about it, because you think somebody would be telling Trump, these people are irrelevant. They have no impact. They have no cultural impact in terms of the propaganda they're spreading. Just forget about them. They're going to fade away. They're talking into the abyss. Look at Kimmel's ratings. But now they've made Kimmel this martyr. So, and these liberals, they've been chomping at the bit to be victims. They want to be victimized. After the Charlie Kirk shooting, they couldn't be victims. So now they want to be victims. So now they're like, well, we're getting canceled, and our free speech is being in our free speech rights, and because, Trump with the FCC, I don't know. There are still Republican grandstanders, John McCain types in the GOP, unfortunately, in 2024, and more join the GOP as grifters now. They're showing their true faces. Oh, 100%. Look how old Congress is. There's many of those types. Maybe not to the level of McCain, but there's a lot of them that are more rhino types for sure. That's what Congress is because of how old they are. You think any of that's really changed? It takes so long for it takes probably decades. Like the individual of Trump and the way the party is going, you could even say it's kind of going further right than where Trump is at this point. But even with someone like Trump, that doesn't mean the congressional level is going to be anywhere close to what he is. It would probably take a decade or two to really change that, because you're talking about like multiple elections and candidates that kind of model themselves after Trump and a more America First agenda. We don't have anywhere close to that right now. Dude, so Vance is giving all of these another rally in a swing state. I mean, it's the most obvious thing, but I'm surprised it's happening this early. It's not even the midterms he's doing this. Not even a year before the midterms, but Vance is out giving another rally talking about Newsom, and Newsom was on, what was Newsom on last night? Fallon or some shit.
Well, this is a governor, Jesse, who is saying that he does not want ICE agents to put masks on, and they're doing that for their safety because there's a threat to them and their family out there, as we saw with the shooting today and the threats that come in daily to them. But this is the same governor who forced 2-year-olds to wear masks during COVID, and he wielded executive power to muzzle people. And so I think he thinks that he just has ultimate power to do this. But what his rhetoric is doing, what his actions, what other supposedly mainstream politicians in the Democratic Party have done is to put a target on the back of our ICE agents.
Did you hear about the Charlie Kirk killer trans lover is missing? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, isn't that a person of interest? How would they allow that to happen? How would the investigators allow that to happen? Did you hear about the what Megyn Kelly said about some type of witch curse against Charlie Kirk? I don't know if anyone knows about that. I watched the video. I don't know if that's true, but that's what Megyn Kelly said. Megyn Kelly said Erica Kirk got really freaked out because there was this curse that was put onto Charlie Kirk. They had a Catholic pastor come over and pray for them the night before Kirk was murdered. I don't know if that's true. I mean, that's what Megyn Kelly says. Newsom has terrible political instincts. Well, it's all a show with Newsom. Newsom is trying to take control of the Democratic Party, so he has to keep his relevancy up. He has to be relevant in everything with Trump, and that's why it's all this pathetic, like, he's got these hats, it's a copy of Trump. His entire brand now is just a copy off of Trump, and they say, well, he's making fun of Trump. But if everything is just a copy of Trump, it's really just embarrassing for him. The comedians just parrot the popular talking points in the moment. Dylan and Rogan were pro-Trump. Then he cried over deportations and alligator Alcatraz. Not sure why people take them seriously. Yeah, but it's even deeper than that. You have to understand, all these comedians now have podcasts, and all of their podcast content is politics. I shouldn't say all of it, but a lot of it is politics. That is the mainstream. They don't talk about like drama within their own worlds anymore. It's all politics. Probably because of Trump, but you know that account on X, the Barry account? Coming on here late, did you see the James O'Keefe video confirmed Epstein was CIA asset? I didn't see the James O'Keefe video. That's what it was about, Epstein. So libs are saying the sniper was MAGA because he hit illegals, not the ICE agents. Are we serious, right? The copium? Yeah, I think that's just... I don't think many of them are really saying that. They know it's not true. How are you tonight? I'm doing alright, man. Even though I haven't agreed with the immigration issue at all since I know of a dreamer and want them to say, but the violence against ICE, ain't it? Stop. Yeah, but this is what the American people voted for. This is democracy, is deporting illegal immigrants. So, obviously it's completely terrible what's going on. They're actually anti-democracy when they do this, when they impede ICE. That's an anti-democratic act. Typhoon, what's up, man? What's life like for Trump once he's no longer president? Can't imagine him getting off the stage for someone else to speak last, LOL. Yeah, he'll definitely, he'll choose in 2028 whoever it is. He's going to pick Vance or whoever. He's still got a massive amount of power within the party. So he'll campaign for whoever in 2028, and then after that, he'll. I mean, he's, you're talking about a timeline of Trump being in his early 80s at that point. So there's going to be some, I'm sure, a little bit of a break for him, a little bit of a relaxation. I mean, at that point, you're winding down. So for him, he would be winding down and just retiring. I mean, he'd still be involved, I'm sure, to a degree, but what's up with Newsom? Weird hand gestures when he talks. Yeah, it's just a common thing people do. It's it's like when you do this, it's like an aid in terms of being able to communicate. Who wins the Heisman this season? I'm pretty happy. The Heisman is wide open for sure. I don't know who's gonna win it. There's really no one putting up anything insane right now. I think it's good for the sport. Dems blaming Trump for government shutdown. Yeah, we're gonna go through this again with the government shutdown. Normally these things get resolved and it doesn't shut down, but we'll see. Check out the O'Keefe video. He says Clinton was involved with the miners and wasn't Trump, but Trump is still covering up to protect other people. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. That's says it was Clinton. Clinton was involved with minors. Trump wasn't, but Trump is still covering it up. Yeah, Trump's not involved. That's what I've been saying. So that vindicates Trump if that's true. Democrat immigration lawyer in OKC tried to pull the both sides argument on the news. So annoying hearing liberals trying to deflect accountability. Listen, the both sides stuff, this is what I think. I just think if the two most popular people in the Republican Party get shot at and one gets assassinated, and there's no equivalency to that. So we're not doing the both sides thing. There's no equivalency to it. Why don't you ask liberals to compare that to Melissa Hortman or whoever? I mean, it's not even a comparison when you look at it. So, and then also the rhetoric, the acceptance of violence on the left. And you see someone like Destiny. Boy, Destiny now is trying to walk back his statements and he just can't do it. Destiny tries to act like he's this, this big shot guy who's extremely based and edgy. And now he's trying to walk back all of his statements. He's a clown. It's just total hypocrisy when you listen to him. Thoughts on the Tylenol study by Harvard, Columbia, Johns Hopkins, NIH, HHS citing, but mainstream media still said there's no research back. No, that's well known that you should not take anything. Something like Tylenol, that's bad for you during pregnancy because it affects the baby. It is 100%. But all of these women are coming out like, I didn't know that. I didn't know. But this is known. It's bad. Tylenol has said we don't recommend you to take Tylenol during pregnancy unless you absolutely have to. Any foreign, you put something like that in your body, it's a problem with the fetus. So that's been known. And obviously they found more studies and they said, this is not good. People shouldn't do this. We're trying to help people out. And it's all these rabid liberal women just taking like all this Tylenol now, the pregnant women. It's like all the pregnant liberal, yeah, there's not many of them. There's not many pregnant liberal women because we know their birth rates are just absolutely nothing. Their birth rates are almost as bad as South Korea's. Liberals. Do you keep your meme coins for the long term? You want to sell during the bull run, whenever that is. We've been waiting a while though, but I've held some coins over a year now, or around a year. No mask bill is another political misstep for Newsom. Now he doesn't want the masks. We were saying this 5 years ago. Isn't it ironic though with the whole thing with COVID with the masks and now there's no masks? Am I the only one that finds that just... When is the bull run? It's Q4. You might have spoken on this After more and more comes out, how are you on the official Charlie narrative on the murder? Yeah, I think it was a leftist. Honestly, I don't think it was Israel. That's what I would say. Even with all of this and the bullet and oh, they lied about the caliber of the bullet because it didn't go out of his, it did. There's no exit wound. They really need to release the autopsy. The autopsy would solve some things in terms of, you know, the caliber and things of that nature. You've seen more vegetated children than ever before. Well, children grow up on phones now. It's a huge issue, and they lose any form of like they don't have any patience because of the dopamine on the phones. Now you want the no masks. Webb, what's up, man? Yeah, government shutdown. Didn't you say Charlie had Wolverine bones, so it stopped the bullet? No, I never said that. They said they're religious people, so they said that. And I mean, it sounds bad, yeah, but it's more of a religious thing, I think. I thought their current level was 1.2, not 1.1, but I don't know. It could be 1.1. Yeah, I saw that. The kid said he missed school to meet Vance, and then Vance took a picture with him. You're converting to Eastern Orthodoxy Christianity. Yeah, it's a big battle with Eastern Orthodoxy and Catholicism within like the younger Christian right. Bullets do weird things all the time. No, I agree with you, but the thing is these people won't take that. They'll say they're just lying. If something weird happens, they'll just say it's a lie by the FBI. Yeah, they should stay away from historically black colleges, bro. Did you see those guys tried to go and they got swamped and their cars got keyed and then they released a statement. Tennessee State released a statement saying the kids behaved great. Stay away. Stay away. There's not worth it. Newsom left Kamala on red. He had to return some videotapes. Yeah, Newsom and Kamala, I bet, don't get along. I don't know what she said about him in her book, but I was told that she basically ripped all of the Democrat field in her book. I don't know. She actually may run in 2028. Knowing her, it seems like she's just obsessed with attention. She has to know she's not going to win, but she'd get attention.
Know why you support a president who contributes to the rhetoric that got your friend Charlie killed. We saw his rally recently. He said, "I hate my enemies." Stephen Miller said similar things. How can you support him when he contributed to what got Charlie killed?
Assumes facts, not evidence. What you said is not true.
70% of political violence is committed by Republicans.
Oh my God, dude.
Okay.
Look it up.
That's not
DOJ
true.
just pulled it. The DOJ just pulled it from their website. DOJ just pulled.
Yeah, but buddy, what about the top Democrats getting shot at? Oh wait, that's not happening. What about the top Democrats getting assassinated? Oh wait, that's not happening. You're like 5 years old. Go read a book.
The study from their website because they're delusional.
What if she's like, what if she's like, kid, you're like 5 years old?
That's not true because
They just pulled it. Look it up.
Once you
the
pull
DOJ
the
pulled it from their website.
Once you
Go
pull
ahead.
the crazies out of there, it is overwhelmingly left-wing violence.
Google it.
We have
Right
had
now. Every single
No, I
person in the
understand.
audience, Google it right now.
You know, this is how we get here. So first of all, let me take on the first part of the premise of your question, that it was President Trump's rhetoric that led to an assassin killing our friend Charlie Kirk. That's a blatant lie. It's a defamatory blaspheme, and it's inappropriate in this setting.
That's not what I said.
We know. Yes, it is.
No, I said he contributed to the political atmosphere.
Well, then you have no point.
tension.
Then your point is utterly empty.
What
Contributing to the atmosphere.
This
guy was no. Let's just make clear. This guy was motivated by leftist ideology. We know it from the bullet casings. We know it from the Utah governor. We know it from his own mother.
so-
Yes, we do. Let's be really clear on that.
Even if that's true, so then you're saying because, let's say this guy's a leftist, even if that's true, does that make it okay for the sitting president of the United States to incite violence against liberals?
The President of the United States has not accepted violence against liberals. The President of the United States made a joke at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, which was funny and self-deprecating. It was on the heels of Erica Kirk saying she, in an extraordinary moment, forgave her husband's killer.
He refused.
And let me finish. And then President Trump got up and making a joke, playing off of what Erica said. He said, we disagree. I need to do better. Erica's going to try to convince me, but I'm in a different place. And that's completely normal for a politician to be thinking about his political fights. And by the way, Trump has every right to loathe his enemies. They tried to put him in jail for the rest of his life.
Rightfully
They tried to
so.
bankrupt him.
Rightfully so.
They tried to put
He's
his
a
family
criminal.
in jail.
He's a
And they
criminal.
tried to kill him.
Criminal. Jack
wait.
Smith.
Wait. Okay, now you go.
Thank you for your time.
I'm surprised that you think that kid would continue if she gives him more time. It seemed like he wanted to talk. Russia wants to extend our nuclear treaty participation. This suggests to me they will have info suggesting the U.S. will expand their arsenal when the treaty expires. Yeah, no, I heard Putin talking about something about a nuclear treaty. He wanted to discuss that with Trump, and Trump only wanted to talk about the peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Glenn Youngkin. Oh, it's at Virginia. That makes sense. I was gonna say Glenn Youngkin. That's kind of random. It's kind of random for like a debate style. Has Putin burned up bridges he had with Trump? On the flip side, the U.S. is making a lot of money in the long term. The war goes on. I don't think he's burned bridges with Trump. I think Trump is just doing this to try and get Putin. I mean, you have to try and work out some type of peace. I think tomorrow they could be friends again, Trump and Putin. I really do. But right now, Trump wants there to be some type of peace deal, and Putin doesn't want that, so that they're bickering. What's your opinion on the H-1B situation? Thank you for the donation. I would like to get rid of all H-1Bs if possible. The issue is doing so would really make corporations angry. So there's probably a compromise there. But I think H-1Bs, you look at all the studies, they're terrible, especially for young people. Young people get siphoned, the jobs get stolen by the immigrants coming in. In most cases, the immigrants here temporarily. And so they're like filler, they're like feeder jobs for these immigrants. And what's the purpose of even having an economy or you send these kids to college, they can't get a job because some Indian comes over and takes it. It makes no sense. even if the kid does a slightly worse job. But, you know, this is America. We give jobs to people born in the country. But I mean, this is a big problem that I've talked about many times. You know, the economy has grown too big. It's bigger than the actual populace, so they bring in people. But I mean, you know, I would note I would have to see the statistics in front of me, but there are a ton of kids, I'm sure you know, that complain about not being able to get a job out of college, and so many people think, well, that's something like the H-1B is a huge contributor to that, to young people not being able to get jobs even after getting degrees and investing all this money into them. Will there ever be a woman president? Well, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. Definitely not this. I think I think it's going to be a guy versus a guy. I mean, you think it's inevitable at some point, but we could definitely go on a run for. I mean, obviously it's only been men, but they've tried it with Kamala and Hillary. So it's like, you think Democrats will probably not do that again. Your point is only valid by success by these assassinations, and which party is in power. It happens both sides. No, that's absolutely not true. You're completely wrong. There's been no major liberal person that's been shot at like Trump and Kirk have. At all. That both sides does not work when you're talking about major political figures. Bro, why do you keep saying this? You keep saying the same thing. I'd say the economy hasn't grown out the population because labor participation rate is at a historic low, currently 63%. If you increase that by 5%. Yeah, but this is the thing. When you're talking about extraction in terms of capitalism, the goal is to the problem is a lot of these kids that come out of college will not do certain jobs. They're not going to do certain jobs for lower pay, and so that tends to be an issue. But I mean, the H-1B system itself is supposed to be for higher quality jobs, so I don't see why we can't just give those higher quality jobs to kids coming out of college who supposedly say they can't get jobs, unless they're getting terrible degrees, you know, degrees in fields that are not. Dude, Dylan Roof was not a political shooting. Actually, it was. He was trying to start a race war. Why do people say crypto is the mark of the beast? I don't know. It seems like some low IQ thing.
A litany of examples. That
you will
are
not
willing-
have them. If I gave you 2 months to look for them, you couldn't
Really?
find them because they've been debunked.
Really?
You have one thing.
The
If you
guy
want to
who
talk
came
about,
and killed
if you want to
Esther
talk a minute.
Salas's son has been debunked. Dylan Roof has been debunked. Vance Bolter and his list
Vance
of
Bolter,
dozens
we can talk
of
about that,
Democrats.
but you're
sure,
you-
go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, you want to talk about it?
I do.
Okay. There was not a relentless drumbeat for 10 years about his victim like there was here. There was an intent and a motive for her killing by her killer alone. It wasn't 5. It wasn't National Review. It wasn't any show going like, you know what? We need to go after this fascist. Hopefully someone will take her out. That never happened.
Guys,
that is why your analogy is so pointless.
It's
and desperate.
Pipe bombs being sent to Democrats' houses. People saying in court, I was inspired by Donald Trump.
If you want to do
People
this math,
shooting up
you're going to
Walmarts
be
chase
embarrassed.
Yeah, but there's just such an easy answer. These people don't. I don't know why they don't bring it up. Will there ever be a ginger president? It'd be a challenge, I think. Be a challenge. We're too low in terms of the population. As a woman, I have yet to find a woman that I would actually consider voting for president, but you also want You also think we need to repeal the 19th Amendment? That would be very good for Republicans if they repealed the 19th Amendment. The entire political spectrum would shift into like a further right wing and then a center right, a moderate right, establishment right. The entire country would just be right wing if that happened. Worker shortage is a myth. To hire cheap labor, guest workers, because they won't pay the proper wage. Yeah, but then you're talking about inflation. I mean, it's one or the other, but I think we should absorb the inflation. I agree with you if it means hiring American, but also there is certain jobs that Americans will not do. That is true as well. That's why we kind of think the automation comes into play with a lot of like the grunt work labor jobs, manual labor. Look at the carpentry and all that. I mean, people don't go into that. Americans don't go into that. Whether it's because they don't want to do manual labor and it doesn't pay enough. It's a different generation. Can you show the GDP projection for Q3? I think it's 3.2%. I believe it's 3.2% is the projected. That's what someone was telling me. We'll know in late October the actual number, but the thing is with the GDP is they'll revise it a bunch. They revise the GDP number, so it's like we get the number and then it gets revised, but I think it's 3.2%. Atlanta Fed. So maybe it comes in a little bit lower, but it's obviously not going to be negative. It's not going to be a contraction. 3.3%. That's what he says, Atlanta Fed. Did you guys cover the Kirk Snake Eyes film Conspiracy yet? Hope you don't miss that one. No, I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of the Kirk stuff, the witches and stuff like that, but I haven't seen that one. What do you think your Palantir case looks like? Huh. You think they got a profile on every? They got a profile on every American Palantir. In some database, of course they do. I wonder if they rank people in terms of threat level, stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see. When is it time to abandon a meme coin that hasn't done a bull run? Well, it's not. It depends the coin you're in. I would have to look at your coins, but you don't want to abandon it right now. It's a bad time to sell. You know, we just had a retracement. Have you seen the one where he got shot from the back? He didn't get shot from the back. There's no way. But I mean, I've seen people say that. That would be the exit wound. The exit wound would be way too small. He got shot from the back. It doesn't even make sense. Especially in terms of the direction of the bullet, the way it sounded, the eyewitnesses, where it came from. Will BTC ever collapse? I don't think it will. I don't think it will. It's got too much backing now. You know, so much of BTC is tied up in ETFs for years. So much of it is inaccessible. It's in a lost wallet. I mean, this was created in 2009. It has too much adoption at this point. It's in strategic reserves of governments. I mean, I really can't see it collapsing now. I mean, it's already at a $2 trillion valuation, so how much higher can it really go? I guess the question is, can it pass gold? And we'll have to see. What chapter of 107 Days are you on? Yeah, I'm on the chapter where Doug cries in the shower on election night. I'm on the last chapter. I had to read it really quickly. So many lame conspiracies on the Kirk shooting, like, come on. But I mean, it shouldn't surprise anyone. And people should understand with these type of things, you have to be aware, be cognizant that there will be a conspiracies immediately that happen. People will say, well, they're lying to you. And that's just what's gonna. And sometimes they are lying to you, but you have to understand that people are always gonna say that, no matter what, no matter if they actually are or they're not. Whether it's for personal benefit or viewership or just because a lot of it is they want to be ahead of everything. They want to be the ones to call it. They want to be the ones to say they weren't deceived by the government. Can you ever see XRP hitting $5 for all the boom? Yeah, I think XRP can hit $5. What is that, like $3.50 right now? That's not even a 2x from here. It's like a 70% increase. Would you ever film IRL video where you interview liberals on the street or at protests? Probably not protests. I see the right wing people get assaulted and stuff. That just seems awkward going to. I mean, maybe you talk to them at some point, but at a protest, I don't think so. On Alex Jones, he said bullet entered left side of the neck, took out 6 vertebrae, exploded heart, then fragmented into shoulder. Where did he get that info from? That's your favorite chapter. Yeah, you see the video with her talking about it. Thoughts on the trend of engraving bullet casings? Did this only start with Luigi? Will it continue? No, it goes back further. But it's just to show your political statement with your weapon. A lot of times, people, whether it's far left or far right, I've seen people write all over their guns. They write about people that were killed and why they're doing it. So it's just a part of a political message, or it doesn't even have to be political, but you putting words on casings or on their guns. I mean, that's been happening for a decent amount of time now. Would you say another January 6th would actually work next time if they had one of the branches of military backing up the people that were there? If you get the military backing, maybe. But I don't even know what it accomplishes. I mean, I don't even know what that looks like. They get military backing them. If they get the U.S. military, then yeah, I think it would work. But January 6th, it's people don't understand what January 6th even was. There was no part of the military that there was no. Trump ordered the National Guard to defense against the January 6th protesters. It's like a misunderstood event, January 6th. And I think some of that is because Trump held off on releasing a statement telling people to go home. But Trump did want National Guardsmen there protecting the Capitol. And if they would have been there would have been no break-ins. Where are you on the right-wing spectrum? I'm a little bit further than Trump, I would say. A little bit further right than Trump. But, I'm not far right, I don't think. No. The rioters would interfere with the military coup. If there was ever a legit coup, a military would probably clean the streets. Yeah. Well, also the way in which that happened, just on a technical level, they bring them around, and that's why people were making fun of the security footage, because it's like a fucking tour. But that's their protocol to try. It's like crowd control to bring people in. Because imagine all those people going crazy. Because there's a lot of people there, man. There really was. Who do you got winning the Natty? That's a good question. I mean, right now, Oof, that's tough, man. I think preseason I thought Texas was gonna win it. Obviously now it's hard to say Texas is gonna win it. Maybe it's Miami's turn, but I just don't trust Miami. You know, and plus it's so early in the season, like this whole Miami hype, this could be gone by like week 9. Miami faces FSU in like 2 weeks. They could lose that game. It's on the road. What if Three Eye Atlas is full of trends and aliens, and that Charlie Kirk assassin got telepathic orders? See, I can do Brain Dead Conspiracies too. Mine are more entertaining. Well, I mean, the thing with their conspiracies is they do to a degree. I mean, yeah, you know, to be honest with the bullet, that's just like, to me, what are we talking about here with the bullet? That is something to where it's like, I know people say, well, it's hyperbolic, but obviously, a lot of people are having theories. Are we really going to come out and the official statement from the Kirk team is his bones are so strong and that's the reason? I mean, that's a little ridiculous, and that's only going to embolden those type of people that have conspiracies. You know, so. Now Candace is saying Tyler Robinson was in a B cult. I don't even know what that is. What's Trump today regards to approval? It's like 43. It's got to be like 43 or 44 today, honestly, for Trump. Probably like a -3, -4, which is fine. You just don't want to get under like 40. Kamala Harris falsely claimed. Yeah, this is another thing. You know, I'm not sure why she said that. I don't know. Maybe she just didn't know. But it doesn't make any sense to say that. Not that I think Trump should really care, but. Trump announces executive order to dismantle left-wing terrorism networks. There's got to be a lot of investigations into this shit. Like, if they don't do anything about this, there's going to be a lot of people that are so angry. People are already angry because apparently they haven't arrested any Antifa people. I saw tweets about that. Why don't they want to admit to an exit room? Apparently because there's not an exit wound. Bullet fragments splintered in his body, apparently. I mean, right, because you would think there would most certainly be an exit wound and it would be pretty routine. That's why people want to see the autopsy, obviously. But it is like this is like the old grift of these people, these adults. They run a campaign or they do something and then it's always a book. And they don't write the book, of course. You know, they tell people what to put down and how to form the people format it for them and stuff. Why are most of the world's largest stadiums in the US? Just based on how big our economy is, we can support massive stadiums. We can support, you know, sports that are worth billions and billions of dollars. He said we won't need Second Amendment anymore because he's making U.S. so safe. No need. That's a you know, joke. If he said something like that, he obviously didn't mean that. It was more of a funny thing to say. The United States is going to be so safe because of him. They'll just say the autopsy is fake. Well, I mean, the autopsy, if it didn't leave, I mean, we'll know in terms of what it impacted. Yeah, I mean, they'll obviously say they could say the autopsy is fake, but I mean, I'd want to see it. Thoughts on BlackRock buying all the single family homes? It should be illegal for sure. It's really bad. It's like extortion. So, but I know that's something Charlie Kirk talked about a lot. Is that issue? Inflating the housing market. So you think it was definitely the kid that did it? No one else involved? I mean, it does seem like there's other people that knew or potentially knew about it. They're gonna have to release something on that. I mean, I think it. I mean, I don't know, but it does seem pretty hard to believe that it was just one person. That's what they said about Crooks. That's what they said about Roth. So maybe they'll just do it with this. You think Candace loses in court with the Macron case? I don't know what's the dynamic of that. She's getting sued. She's getting sued for defamation. It's very hard to win a case like that for Brigitte Macron. She's a public figure. You really can't sue for defamation, in another country. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, it does seem like she is a woman. I guess if she's taking a nude photo for the freaking judges or something. They said she presented evidence, so you should do a video on North Korea's large. Yeah, I did do a video on that. That was a while. I probably did a video on that like 3 years ago. You could look that up. I'm sure it's still up, unless I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. Tell me how many views it has. I'm actually interested because I thought that video would do well as like a longer term evergreen video. Pyongyang Hotel or whatever. Today's my birthday and I watched Tucker's 9/11 files. Well, happy birthday. Yeah, we got a really close birthday, man. The spy plane John Cullen theory is wild. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. One more year or one less year, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, right. That's the thing. You get older, the birthdays are less happy. Your birthday was the day we lost Charlie. So your birthday is 9/10, like one day before 9/11. Defiant moment, one of the largest ABC affiliate owners in the country, Nexstar, is refusing to air Jimmy Kimmel.
News. It's out of the Eastern District of Virginia, where three sources familiar tell MSNBC former FBI Director James Comey is expected to be indicted in the coming days. The full extent of the charges being prepared against Comey. The Eastern.
Is this the one? Is this Katie Tur? You need a haircut soon. I know it's. I have to wait for my barber. Yeah, but dude, she's aged. Remember her with that Trump interview? You remember when Trump embarrassed her, but fuck, she was hot in like 2016? Dude, what is this? Look at the armory behind him.
So here's my sacred obligation to you, to all the law enforcement, but every person, whether they wear a uniform or not. Over the next couple of years, the Trump administration is going to do everything that we can to dismantle the networks, to destroy the funding, and to make it harder for people to kill one another just because they disagree with what somebody says. That is what we're going to do. We're going to fight for it. So here's my...
Dude, this homie's doing campaign rallies 3 years before. Homie's got the artillery behind him. Dude's got like a tank behind him. What is that, like a fucking Hummer? That's right, your birthday coming up in a few days. September birthdays are good. You think about it, 9 months before would be the last week of December, so Christmas. Yeah, no, I know. It's the most common month to have birthdays because of that, how it aligns with people having sex around the New Year's or Christmas, things like that. That's why there's so many of the September birthdays. APAC rubbing their hands together watching Goy Vance. It is unfortunate that Vance already has that, dude. Because you know that's going to be attached to him now, and we're going to have to deal with that. You know, he's got the Palantir attachment because of Teal.
And they said that immigration enforcement, you know what they said? That immigration enforcement
You skip the Vance kid. I mean, dude, really, it's like the kid says, like, is that really that good of a video? You'll never forgive your mom for taking Tylenol while pregnant. With Palantir, why are you more worried about what it does for optics than if it's an actual concern if he has ties? Well, because think about it. Everybody is going to have to, like someone like Vance obviously doesn't have the funding to become an actual politician. You know, it's the way politics works. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be funded by someone. He just happened to be funded by the motherload of fucking Israel spyware. So they're going to have to try and dispel it somehow. You know, but it doesn't matter. It's 3 years away or whatever, so they're not going to talk about it right now. North Korea hotel video has 3.4K views, and that's disappointing. Well, that didn't enter the algorithm then. I appreciate you looking that up though. What's wrong with Palantir? You invested into them last October and have gone up 7K. Yeah, if you invested like a year ago, I'm sure Palantir has been a really, really good performing stock. Oh my god.
name.
Here's
Henry,
your clip.
it's good to meet you, Henry. Ask your question, please. Come up here. Henry said, I skipped school. Can I have a picture with you? Well, I guess you got to have some excuse to skip school, so I might as well get a photo with Henry.
Remember the kid that would like use the lawnmower on the White House lawn and Trump was like next to him and the kid didn't even cut the grass properly? That was like in 2017, I swear. Dude, look at Vance. He looks like one of the like people from The Purge. Like one of the rich people.
Now the next reporter is going to be, hey, I'm from CNN. Can I get a photo with you too? I wish that I got questions that easy. Name.
Watch Vance's interview with Theo Vaughn. Yeah. I haven't seen that interview. Who's worse, Caitlin Collins or Abby Phillips? Probably Allie Phillip. Caitlin Collins is actually bad, but Caitlin Collins is a White House correspondent, so she goes on scene. If you can go to one college football game once a year, what would it be? You go to the Penn State Whiteout game. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Maybe Ohio State and Michigan. Oh, yeah, the Trump little X thing. It's like, come on, people. Really? Caitlin Collins is hot, you say? People say she looks like a man. I mean, I could kind of see both sides of it. She has some masculine features, I guess. Who's hotter, Joy Behar or Whoopi Goldberg? Oh, they're all yours. Those are the kind of women you like, William. Serious question? That's not a serious question. I was ready to answer a nice question about fucking geopolitics, and I get hit with that. But that's pretty par for the course. Get a fade. No, the thing is, what I noticed when my hair is like cut down, I don't think it looks good. You know, everyone cuts their hair like this. They like eliminate the sides. They eliminate the sides. That's every man in politics. Florida to name a road, Charlie Kirk Memorial Avenue. Yeah, no, I saw that. That is true. They were naming a road off after Charlie. Do you think another major false flag is brewing? You find it weird how the White House is hyping up Al-Qaeda shit right now? I mean, there could be everyone says that though. They say there's going to be a false flag here. You really can't know when to predict it. And I heard even Owen Schroer, he's like, "Oh, it feels like something's going to happen." It's like, dude, something just happened. But, you know, maybe there'll be another thing that happens. Which state have the most presidents come from? You thought it was Ohio? Probably Ohio or Virginia. Can't believe Kimmel didn't at least give a vague apology. Well, if you watched, he did kind of like the crying or whatever, like the moping. And he kind of said in a way like, "Oh, I didn't mean this, and I feel sad if anyone thinks it came off this way, and I would never do." So it's kind of like a half-assed thing from what I saw. But you're right, he didn't give a direct apology to Erica Kirk or the Kirk family. Thoughts on the Tigers' collapse? These teams have terrible offenses. Like, what do you expect to happen? Like, look at the Tigers' lineup. Do they have it's like they don't have one elite bat. So what do you think is going to happen? Broccoli haircut, bowl shape, mullet, or Edgar. Definitely not broccoli. Broccoli is like the fucking 16-year-old kids. Definitely not Edgar. Bowl, I'd probably go mullet out of those choices, honestly. But I wouldn't get a mullet.
I don't know if you all have followed the news, and we're still learning a little bit about it, but what we know is that in Dallas, Texas, an ICE facility, an Immigrations and Customs Enforcement facility, was opened fire upon by a violent left-wing extremist, a person who wrote anti-ICE messaging on their bullets, and there's some evidence that we have that's not yet public, but we know this person was politically motivated. They were politically motivated to go after law enforcement. They were politically motivated to go after people who are enforcing our border. And I think that is the most disgusting thing. I don't know if you all have followed the
Rejects Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries' demands to keep government open in exchange for free health care for illegals, $500 million from NPR, and leaving dead people on Medicaid and Social Security, political extortion. Democrats want $500 million to help radical left news outlets, I think. Yeah, well, this is like a negotiation for them to keep the government open. I saw Trump did a White House renovation, like some type of palm room or something. Stunning, very nice. This is beautiful. This is, remember the palm room on the Titanic? They should add some plants here. Add a little tropical plants. It looks very nice. Trump does do renovations well. If Vance plays his cards right, he could be 28-36. Well, I mean, he's the favorite to be the Republican nominee. So if he's the favorite to be the Republican nominee, that means he's going to be running as, you know, the incumbent party. And so you're going to have a good chance. You're going to have basically a minimum 50% chance to win. If he ends up, I mean, he's on the trajectory. Do you think the EU and Commonwealth will try to distance themselves from the US or cave to them? A lot of mixed messaging. I think it would be a mistake if they tried distancing themselves from the number one, you know, superpower in the world. Where are they going to go? To Russia? No. Where are they going to go? To China? No. You look at the geographics, that doesn't make sense. I mean, the United States, whether we're too right-wing for them, their country is turning more right-wing as well. Not to the same degree, but... Why does the left hate free speech so much? They only love it when it agrees with their ideas. And yeah, I mean, it's just they want to control everything, and they accuse the right of doing it too, and it becomes a he said, she said thing. But the reason they hate it is because they just want total control. And a lot of it is also they can label stuff. And this is a big issue to where, you know, they label people fascist, or they label them racist, or they label them whatever they want to label them because they don't, you know, agree 100%. It's just like the Nazi thing. You know, anyone that's pro-white gets labeled a Nazi, and then they say you should punch a Nazi. It's like Charlie Kirk, you should punch a fascist. Well, you know, that type of speech is going to have an end result at some point, and unfortunately it did for Kirk. So the issue is they're able to label people. Even if Kirk is not a fascist, they label him a fascist, and then someone ends up shooting him. Thoughts on Islamic prayer calls 5 times a day, and it needs to be banned. It's the United States. It's a Christian country. You know, in Minneapolis, that's a major city. But I mean, this is how liberal cities are. They're just going to get taken over. Because these people are tribal. White liberals are not tribal. They're going to get trounced over. They're getting trounced over by these tribal people from other countries, these tribal immigrants, they all move to one specific area, normally a liberal city, they take it over. The white liberals accept it because they don't want to be seen as racist. Trump removed Biden from the wall of president. Yeah, he put up an auto pen. Honestly, that is kind of funny. Just see all the presidents, and it's just a fucking pen. It's the auto pen. I mean, does it even matter? It's just a pen. Just the auto pen. Nice angle of sign hanging. Then the auto pen. The grand finale. What if they just leaves it? They just what if the liberals enter and they just leave it? They're like, yeah, it makes sense. It's just the auto pen. It's just the pen. Oh man. I mean, I think liberals got to admit that is true. The auto pen is an actual physical device. You thought it was like electronic signing. Yeah. No. It is a physical thing that because the signature of an executive order has to be physical. You can't there can't be an electronic signature of an executive order. I believe I'm right on that because I'd be shocked if that was. There's no way you electronically sign stuff like that. Yeah, the auto pen's a real thing. It's how people mass produce autographs. They just have an auto pen do it. How about banning church bells too? Why would a Christian country ban church bells? What, you think they're annoying? I guess it depends where you live. Are you surprised when Trump won in 2016? Did you think he'd win in 2020? Yeah, dude, I was surprised. I mean, I was rooting for Trump, and I thought he was going to win just because, well, I was younger at that time, and there wasn't a ton in terms of, like, polling or anything like that, but obviously everyone thought he was going to lose.
About how and why you are saying what you are saying now and how I felt about it, you're not letting me talk. You know what? I respect your right to speak, but you're not letting me.
Yeah, these liberals have a hard time with the pro-Palestine people. Oh, she got him. She got him. It's Trump's job to bring the temperature down after his friend got shot in the neck. Like this, it's such gaslighting. You feel bad for her, not gonna lie. She's making a ton of money. It's, you know. You got any Mexican in you? You look like Canelo Alvarez. No, not that I know of. I'd be shocked, honestly.
Violence is just terrible. Everybody,
The
right,
glasses.
left, center, I don't care what your politics are, has to speak out strongly against it. But look, I think, and I don't know what's happened here, and I don't know about the guns, but we need better laws on guns. I mean, we got something done a few years ago, but it's just rampant, and we have to do more.
Yeah,
I'm the
schools,
author of the Brady Law, the
churches.
assault weapons ban. It's become almost every day one of these things happen, and violence is just terrible.
Yeah, no, I can understand if they're constantly going off the bills. Yeah, I get that. Ancestry says you're 1% African. Where'd you, Ancestry.com? Do you think if the Dems put a center left banker type figure as their candidate, they would have a chance? Well, I mean, a center left banker. I mean, it's kind of the occupation is kind of irrelevant. It depends on totally on the individual. I don't think a center left banker would. I don't really think that would. It depends who the person is.
Yeah, good morning. My name's Joe Rothrock. I'm the special agent in charge of the Dallas FBI field office. I want to first start by thanking our partners in local law enforcement, specifically the Dallas Police Department, for their quick and timely response. I can confirm at this time that the FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence, to include here in North Texas, where back on July 4th, we saw a coordinated attack carried out against an immigration detention center in Alvarado, Texas. What I can also share with you is that early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature. Again, this is just the most recent example of this type of attack. This will be a whole of government response. There will be no resource not utilized to bring all those individuals who are responsible to bring them to justice and to hold them accountable. While we're not releasing identities of any victims at this time, what I can confirm for you is no members of law enforcement were hurt during this attack. If any member of the public has information that would help the FBI's investigation, I would ask that you please report that to 1-800-CALL-FBI. Again, any piece of information will be helpful, but this will be an ongoing investigation between us, a number of federal partners, and our local partners, again, to ensure that anyone responsible is held accountable. With that, I will turn it over to my counterpart from the ICE Enforcement and Removal Office. Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, so he hit. I guess he was just shooting blindly, or he's not a good shot, or I don't know what. Yeah, he's shooting and he hit two of the detainees. So he hit two of the immigrants that were illegal, or they were temporarily holding them in an ICE detention center. And that's who he hit. I think he was also shooting at ICE vans or the vehicles or whatever. He was pro-illegal, and all he did was save ICE from having to deport them. Right.
And I'm proud of the fact that we have always been a work in progress. You know, we haven't gotten to the more perfect union, and we fought a civil war over part of it. And people have been protesting, you know, for hundreds of years.
Can't ban guns if people buy illegal homemade weapons. There's too many guns in circulation to ban them. They would never, it's not possible. I mean, you can restrict the sale of certain types of weapons that are, you know, to higher degree, But there's so many weapons in circulation within the United States that would never work. There's too many guns out there, loose guns, untraced guns. It's just not feasible to do that.
That things were not as they should be given our ideals and how we should be moving toward them. So I think that's what makes us so special as a country. And the idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, it's just doing such...
Right, but we have to understand, Hillary, we have to understand the way the country was made, the fact that we became the most powerful country within 200 years of our creation is because of white men. So imagine if they said that to her. So let's realize why the country is great in the first place. That's the reason why. It's because white men came from Western Europe. And also white women, certainly, but just in terms of the ideas, the government, everything. Like, we got to stop lying to ourselves with all of this.
Much damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path toward that. I mean, imperfectly, lots of, bumps along the way, but I agree with you, we were on the right trajectory. And I am proud of the fact that we have always been a work in progress. We haven't got...
It's like 4 pounds of makeup. This is what I was talking about, Jezebel. This is weird. Thank you for the $10 donation. I appreciate that. A typical left shooting too mentally ill to own one's own firearm, so he had to grab Grandpa's M1 Grand. At least we don't have to worry about them when they talk about Civil War. Yeah, no, it's normally somebody else. It's normally a stolen gun. It's not their own weapon. That's the other thing. Especially with something like this, it's hard for them to really argue for the gun control when it's they didn't go buy it and they didn't pass a background check. It was taken. If that's what this kid is. Because that was also Tyler Robinson, apparently, is what they said. It was his grandfather's as well. There's already, you say it's too easy for people to get it. There's already background checks you have to pass to get a gun. Go out and get a gun. You have to pass. I mean, you can say it's easy, but it takes about 30 to 40 minutes to get reviewed. But I mean, I think that you could say that's a fair compromise. Do you believe? Well, this is the story with this stuff. And I don't know, because the thing is you don't even mention it, whatever. And I'm going to summarize this because I watched this full 7-minute video last night. So basically, this Jezebel site, they cast evil curses onto people. And, they're all liberal women. So they cast one onto Charlie Kirk with the help of Etsy. I guess they contacted someone on Etsy. You guys know the site where you just buy, like, arts and crafts, things like that. And so, they cast one on Charlie Kirk. They order an extra. It's like $100 or whatever. This was like late August, maybe August 23rd. There was an article that was written about it. Apparently, Erica Kirk got really scared. This is what Megyn Kelly says, who obviously is not going to bullshit people. Megyn Kelly says Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk had a Catholic pastor come over to their house and pray with them the night before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. That is kind of insane if that's true, to where they had somebody pray with them the night before he got assassinated. But I think they're trying to get these people charged or something for harassment or something, because Erica Kirk didn't like that they sent out these witch threats or something. So I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing to where I was like, wow. The night before? Well, it is kind of strange. I mean, just even in that context, you don't believe in that shit, obviously, but I don't know if Erica Kirk was really shaken up, she said, by it. People were acting strange at the assassination. What do you mean? Starting to think that libs are more dangerous than any country or illegals, except for maybe Omar from Somalia. Well, I mean, they're dangerous in the sense that it's hard for another country to challenge us. Other countries cannot really challenge the United States based off of our geographical position and how strong our military is. So obviously the biggest challenge, and this is like the most normie thing that people say, the biggest challenge facing the United States is ourselves, or is in forces within the US, because of how strong we are. We're not a European country, to where we're a small country and you got to deal with all these other countries next to you, and to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. You know, obviously Canada is like 1/1000th as strong as us. Mexico is a complete mess. Then there's nothing to the east or to the west. So the most challenging thing for the United States tends to be our own systems, and the thing that could fracture the United States really at this point would be some type of collapse, like a civil war or something. Thank you for the donation. Your mom is Catholic, so it would be a priest. Your dad is Baptist, so it would be a pastor, just the way they see the structure of the church. Well, Kirk was Protestant or non-denominational, I think. But no, you are right, because the story was that it was Catholic, so it would be a priest. You're right. Which is kind of strange that they would have a Catholic, you know, if he's Protestant. But I don't know if that story's real, but I don't know why Megyn Kelly would report it if it's fake. Yeah, let's just take a look at this. Tether's new valuation would make its chairman fifth richest person in the world. Yeah, but it's a stable coin.
Oh! Oh, we got a something in the room here?
Yeah, we sure do. All right, looks like roadkill. No, it's not. Oh! Uh-oh. That is not roadkill.
That fucked up their tire for sure. Curses are real. They've been documented since the ancient Egyptians. Well, I mean, I just thought it was the timing of it was weird, honestly. Tether's value increasing as people shifting from BTC to alts. Well, and also just more money is fiat is being transformed or transferred into crypto through Tether. More Tether is being minted. There's been a lot of it. within the past year.
This guy is flooding the zone. He's dominating the narratives. Facts don't seem to matter. And Democrats, frankly, have had a difficult time pushing back. And Democrats feel that, times there's sort of this weakness that dominates our brand and our party. And I think what people appreciate is that we're willing to fight, and not only fight symbolically by having a little bit fun, but fight substantively. We have 41 lawsuits against this son of a bitch. We're pushing back and we're winning. And we're filling a void on a lot of issues. I'm out here for Climate Week. California is the tentpole in terms of climate policy in this country. As he walks away from Paris, he walks away from leadership, moral authority around the rest of the world. California is trying to assert itself on health policy. Same thing. We created this West Coast collaborative. We're not going to listen to this guy. We're not going to.
This is all bullshit. Like, what are you even talking about? We created this West Coast collaborative. Have you? Yeah, I'm not doing that again. Bro, you were like here 10 months ago, bro. Stop. Prediction: Missouri versus Bama. I don't even know when that game is. The game's in like week 10. Fuck if I know. Fake crowd noise. Fake crowd.
Known as Donald J. Trump, I bid on the renovation and rebuilding of this very United Nations complex. I remember it so well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything. It would be beautiful. I used to talk about, I'm going to give you marble floors. They're going to give you terrazzo.
All right, how long is the O'Keefe clip? The O'Keefe clip? $13 minutes. Do you need merch? Maybe when I hit 500K. Maybe it would make sense if I hit 500K. But it would have to be low-key merch. I think like a big... I think a lot of the merch is cringy. I'd have to do it low-key, I think. Like with a logo or something. You're going to do more March Madness? Unless something happens to my channel in terms of like... I blow up from something. I don't see why I wouldn't do March Madness. This is the problem with March Madness. It's because it's really a 1-month game. I mean, college basketball, it's really not profitable to make videos about it year-round. It just doesn't have the relevancy on YouTube.
It's not talked about yet, but it'll soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people. Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax of the case, like a hoax or something. I'm like, come on, you know it's not a hoax. He's been on the plane, many times. It's just he was never on the plane with the kid.
Does this dude think he's on a date with a hot girl or something? Is this always the same thing? You think Judge is MVP? Yeah, Judge has got to be MVP. You just watched it. Pam should release everything on the Epstein file. Well, he's confirming Trump is not on it, but he's protecting people. This is what I thought.
The itineraries, and I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. While the Clintons were on the plane, while Bill Clinton was on the plane, there were rapes that occurred.
Overheard at Phoenix Airport on September 8th, 2025, a senior Justice Department investigator who personally worked on the Epstein case tells all. Glenn Prager, who has reviewed Epstein itineraries and has interviewed Epstein's victims, drops a bombshell. He says that the DOJ did not want to go after Epstein because he's a CIA asset, that the evidence from his investigation confirms that Bill Clinton was present for alleged rapes on the Lolita Express, and that President Trump was not present for the rapes that Glenn Prager investigated, but that he is protecting a lot of other people.
What happened to the vlogs? I mean, dude, it's been like 3 years. I mean, the vlogs got no views. What do you think happened to them? I mean, it's like there was you know, you're not making money doing that. That's the problem. There's no money in it unless I make them more interesting.
That were.
How about this whole Epstein thing that's like going on?
So I worked on that case. I used to interview all the victims, and my picture was 20 to 30 victims, you know, in Palm Beach that I was interviewing and dealing with and stuff like that. And then we would go ready to go to trial, and they would flip. Epstein would just pay them off, and they were just like these little kids. You know, they pay off their family. They're all broke kids and poor families, and so you pay them off like anywhere from $150,000 to $500,000, nothing in that guy's world.
Prager there describes how the victims that he interviewed were paid off by Epstein right before going to trial. Prager has worked as an investigator inside the Department of Justice for over 20 years. According to Prager's LinkedIn About page, it says that during the tenure at DOJ, Prager served as an inspector overseeing sensitive investigations involving major DOJ components, including the FBI, DEA, Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Marshal Service, ATF, and the U.S. Attorney's offices. This seems to corroborate what Prager told us. He was tasked with interviewing Epstein's rape victims and investigating flight logs. On his backpack in the airport, we spotted an embroidered FBI patch, which caught the attention of our citizen journalist.
I'll tell you this, because no, it's not talked about yet, but it'll soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA informant.
Although many have suspected it to be the case, this is the first time a Department of Justice official has confirmed that Epstein worked for the CIA and is a foreign asset.
So DOJ was settling a case, and they were just letting him, you know, do house arrest, and they minimized his arrest. Part of that is because all the victims kept on flipping, and they didn't have anyone to go to trial with. The more importantly part is they didn't want to go after him. He's a, you know, he's a asset for the United States and Israel for the CIA.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what this is, but it's like, brother, look at yourself. We think, okay, you're on this date with this attractive girl. This girl really wants the information into the CIA. You think this is like, is the antennas not going up here? Is there not, like, she's enthralled with this information?
I just know that's what he was. And that's why he was protected so long for this. And people turned a blind eye about all this garbage that he was doing in the United States. You know, he had a lot of secrets. You know, more about Israeli stuff than anything else. I mean, he was doing stuff for you.
The girl is a 10 of 10. She's probably a 7 of 10 with this dude. Don't drink and date. That's the rule going forward. I don't even think that's this dude. This is like, this dude just... The girl's attractive. She's guessing about underage grape talk in the CIA massage. Yeah, she's like really interested in this. I wonder why.
Real in the United States. He's working for both.
Glenn Prager, the Department of Justice investigator on the Epstein case, then talks about whether President Trump was involved. Many are trying to tie Trump to Epstein, but what Glenn Prager says is that Trump wasn't present during the inappropriate sexual behavior that he was investigating. But Prager does say that Bill Clinton was, backed up by his experience interviewing the victims and reviewing the Epstein Lolita Express itineraries.
Storytime videos.
They killed the Epstein list.
Dude, I could come up with some good ones.
They
I'd rather do like a podcast.
You know, that Trump's involved
like
in the rapes and all that stuff. And he wasn't. I mean, I've seen the agendas. I've seen the itineraries, and I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. I remember that it was being killed because I know Clintons were on there. And
the Clintons were on there?
100%. And while the Clintons were on the plane, while Bill Clinton was on the plane, there were rapes that occurred. And that's what I'm saying. Trump, although as many flights as there were and all that kind of stuff, and on the island and all that stuff, he was never there during a single alleged rape. But Clinton for sure, and that's where the big cover-up was.
The Department of Justice investigator inside the Trump Justice Department says that while Trump may not have been present during the crimes that Prager investigated,
So when did they show how hot the girl is? This woman must be really hot if he's spilling this.
Clear that Trump is, quote, protecting a lot of people.
I don't know what's new that I have never seen that he's so hesitant to now show what's going on, and releasing all those files. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people.
The citizen journalist boarded American Airlines Flight 1634 and landed in D.C. Monday at 8 o'clock at night and proceeded to go to dinner with this man, this DOJ investigator, at a restaurant called Blue Duck Tavern. Glenn Prager dislikes the fact Trump said the Epstein scandal is a hoax, but he also says, according to the evidence from his investigation, that Trump is not covering up for himself.
Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax, it's the case like a hoax or something. I mean, come on, you know it's not a hoax. He does says a lot of stupid stuff. He's been on the plane, many times. Mm-hmm. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids. People want to tie it to him and say he's covering up for himself, but he's not.
Now, this is a very good thing for President Trump and seemingly exonerates him from many people who claim that he was doing something inappropriate himself. This dinner went on for an hour and 45 minutes as this Department of Justice...
Thank you for the donation. Your brother is from Chicago, unfortunately, like you, after he left OSU. He never left this C-bus. Do we have another natty in our future? Go Bucks. I mean, Ohio State's got to be a top two. I mean, the natty this year is wide open. They could very easily win it, but it is a 12-team playoff. It's kind of a crapshoot. But they're going to be in the playoff. I mean, they're going to have a decent chance.
Investigator revealed things to a stranger that the leadership of the FBI and the Department of Justice has not. Prager revealed more information about Trump's hesitation to be fully transparent with the Epstein case. Gave us some details about internal gripes against FBI Director Kash Patel from within the FBI, and he detailed a developing feud between Kash.
Do you think he smashed? He got a kiss on the cheek for this, and then that's it. Homie got blue balled.
Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi. If you'd like to see more of that conversation in the restaurant, you may subscribe to OMG and find it on our website.
Who is like the one name where you're like, oh my God?
Here he is. Hey there, is this Glenn?
Yes.
You work for the Department of Justice, correct?
No.
You don't work for the Department of Justice. You had a patch on your backpack that said FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, in the airport?
Yeah.
And you talked about how you interviewed the Epstein people, all the Epstein victims. Do you recall that conversation?
I didn't, no. How can I help you?
I wanted to confirm that you, in fact, did work for the department. Hang on with the phone. Let's try calling him again.
Call him
Glenn?
from a different number.
Well,
I don't know who you are. I'm not talking to you.
You already did speak to my...
Dude, what if we called him from a different number with a British accent? Or like with a woman accent? Hello? What if he called him? He's like, hello, do you know Jeffrey Epstein? What's your average monthly income on YouTube? It's not important.
My friend...
Hey, now stop talking. I don't know who you are.
I'm a journalist. I need your help, sir.
I'm not talking to you or any journalist about anything.
Did you interview the Epstein victims?
I can't talk to you.
Sir.
Call him with a different phone number.
On the heels of releasing this story, I wanted to emphasize just how touching it was for me to see Erica Kirk stand on stage in front of those 74,000 people in a stadium and say that she forgives the assassin who killed her husband, Charlie Kirk. I actually took this photo standing right in front of her when she did that, and I wept. The people standing next to me also wept. In the couple days that followed since that Sunday, it dawned upon me that equally as important as forgiving
so
those
how did the
who
woman
trespass against
meet him
us
on Tinder?
Is for those of us, the living,
When do they reveal
to
that?
achieve justice and accountability for the bad actors behind the scenes corrupting this country. We must have a Department of Justice that is actually about justice. If we do not have any accountability for bad actors, good people, even God-fearing people, are going to resort not to forgiveness, but vengeance. We cannot allow that to happen. And the only solution is exposure, journalism, sunlight, as the best disinfectant. When the leadership in our government is not forthcoming and transparent about matters they should be, you will see men on the front lines, men on the inside, like this Glenn Prager guy, who are familiar with the files, familiar with Epstein, familiar with who's on the airplanes. Indeed, he's the guy who actually interviewed all the victims in Palm Beach. Well, you'll see people like this be forthcoming and honest.
Women, yeah, the moral of the story, women in politics. If you meet a hot woman in politics, it's too good to be true. It's not going to happen. You're being used. The woman is an asset. Especially this big boy. It's just not going to happen.
When their leadership isn't. I recognize Prager's life is now changed forever. You might be tempted to focus on that and focus on him personally. We have no doubt that no matter how much proof is provided by me, the powers that be will deny, deflect, personalize, and cover all of this up. You may wonder how it is these guys in our government so brazenly open up to total strangers in airports about national security secrets. Please note, this isn't about him or Glenn Prager. It's about opening the floodgates of honesty from other men who are just like Glenn
women
Prager,
in politics,
but who never wanted to be involved. We're just following orders. Prager lived with these secrets, and the horror of what he knows lives on his conscience, the weight on his shoulders. He lives with the guilt for knowing the truth. That is why he was so forthcoming in public in the airport. That is why others with national security secrets will continue to be so forthcoming to our army of citizen exposers. And there are many more out there like Glenn Prager. And now, right now, you who are watching must come forward and tell the truth and be transparent. Be a hero and do the right thing. In the last
this guy just keeps going on. Proves your boy Magneto correct again. Quote, never trust a beautiful woman, especially one who's interested in you. Story of my life, man. Story of my life. Well, especially with this, the writing is on the wall. The woman is probably like an 8. That guy's like a 2. But this guy is saying, O'Keefe is saying that he just went up to, the girl went up to him at an airport. Brother's starving. I feel you, brother. I understand the pain, but that's a brutal one. And then O'Keefe is like, so what do we take away from this? If you're a 2 and she's an 8, it's very likely something else is at play. It's like when a hot girl walks up to you, check to see if it's a prank. It's always a prank with that. Women, they want to be courted, especially hot women. They have a lot of options. They're never going to come up to you. It'd be shocking, unless the guy's like a super Chad or something. Never trust a woman who was born on her birthday. Lulz. You wouldn't mind getting honeypotted? Yeah, you wouldn't get any sex out of it, dude. That dude got a kiss on the cheek. That's probably it. Bitcoin 114K. You would demand sex before any information is spilled. She would just move on. She doesn't give a shit then. Do you have any more embarrassing Tinder stories? I probably have a Hinge one. I don't have any more Tinder ones that are that. I have a Hinge one. That's pretty bad. But it's been a while since I did dating apps. Do you believe Prager's story? It's probably real. I mean, if his credentials are right. You like the story of you going out with the chunky chick? Yeah, I don't know if I would call her chunky, but she was not very attractive. I mean, that's like it's like you're going in for like a 4.5 to a 5, maybe a 4. You know. Neck up photos. Yeah, well, that's a rookie mistake. I feel like, if they're not there's a reason that's the neck up on everything. Tinder was fun 10 years ago. Couldn't imagine the mental patients on there now. I've heard it's been overrun with OnlyFans girls, and it's the same 5% of guys now. I mean, there's no question. NASDAQ 420 breached 3 million to the downside. I mean, it's a meme coin. What support does it really have? Let's be honest. Just keep holding it, man. Neck up photos or single mom. Yeah, it's tough. Either way, I don't think you're looking bad either way, so what are my thoughts on Nick Fuentes, Gypsy Crusader? Yeah, I don't know. I think the Crusader guy I think it's obnoxious, honestly. I get it's his schnick and stuff, and so he's like that. I guess it's entertaining. Fuentes, I mean, he's obviously got a lot of young support from the Republican right. He's trying to start his own political movement. It's very obvious. He's counter-signaling Trump on everything. He didn't support Trump in 2024. And now he's doing the whole Vance Palantir shit, so play Tim Pool clip. Which one?
A moment over the weekend, a very beautiful moment. I don't know if you saw this on Sunday. Erica Kirk forgave the man who shot her husband. She forgave him. That is an example we should follow. If you believe in the teachings of Jesus as I do, there it was. That's it. A selfless act of grace, forgiveness from a grieving widow. It touched me deeply, and I hope it touches many. And if there's anything we should take from this tragedy to carry forward, I hope it can be that. A moment over the weekend of
I never dated that girl, dude. Stop. It was a single date. It's not a relationship when you go on a single date. Single moms, yeah, it's like having leftovers in gambling terms. Who wants to commit to another? No, absolutely. It just can't happen. It just can't happen. That's the thing. Any man, it just can't happen. 100%. There's no way. Don't think he's lying, but he's still an asset. Yeah, I think he's trying to save face a little bit. What is this shit, man? Man, this could be a very cute girl, but she's ruined it. She's completely ruined it with the tattoos, with whatever the fuck these glasses are, the eyelashes, the piercings. I think she's got fucking... tats and piercings everywhere, disgusting. It's just like a massive turnoff, dude. The tattoos are so, it's either masculine or I don't know what they are, but it's a really bad thing. The tattoos, it's all over the place with women now. No, it's because the profile was better looking. It's the girl wasn't even that chubby. It's just she wasn't good looking. Girls try having the bad girl. Yeah, but it's not even that because all of them get tattoos. All of them do. It's a trend. So at some point, I think it has to reverse because they have to realize, how do guys say they like this shit? It does not look good. She was to have 20 plus guys in her DMs till she hits the wall. I don't know. That's pretty obnoxious. I mean, yeah, no, you're honestly, I probably shouldn't try and argue that because I mean, just with how horny guys are, you're right. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I will see you later. What do you think of Ryan Walters stepping down? I don't know. The coach? All right, guys. Good night.